Hello everyone. The FusionFall Retro Beta has come and gone, and what a blast to the past it was, or should I say, to the future. Well, whatever. Now, it's time to talk about it. What was good, what was bad, and most importantly, what could be better. I'm just gonna put this audio over some footage that I pre-recorded, so I don't go off on a random tangent while talking, so let's get into it. The good news is, it's still FusionFall, with everything being just as you probably remember it. However, there is a bunch of stuff missing, with the past being the most obvious one. I don't at all blame the retro dev team for not having the past in the beta. It's not done yet, and just making the future available was definitely for the best. The build they used is an old one, like pre-birthday bash old, dating it to be at least before 2010, which means that there are a bunch of missions unavailable. The most notable being the Messages Across Time mission you would get from Mandark. In the mission, you use wormholes to send messages to the past to warn them about Fuse. The reason it's the most notable is because the wormholes you use in the mission are still around the map, while the mission itself seems to be disabled. On a more negative note, there were still some occasional glitches and bugs that you would get while playing. You could get disconnected from the server and your game would restart. You could get a network closed error and have the map be completely empty. These glitches might be due to the fact that I am located in Europe. However, this is just speculation as I have no clue where the server is and how distance would affect my connection stability in the case of FusionFall. Those two were the most common for me. However, the game has fully frozen for me multiple times while accessing my inventory, while opening crates or changing gear. All in all, minor inconveniences as the game always launched very quickly and without issue using the brand new and beautifully designed launcher. Playing through the future again after 8 years or so has made me realize how little it actually is. I recorded a part 2 of my playthrough, which unfortunately got corrupted. However, it was around 1.5 hours in length and I went from level 1 to 4 and farmed for the best gear in Goat's Junkyard. The size might sound like a negative, but it's not. Something the size of the future that we got in this beta is what I would assume to be the perfect testing grounds for the game. So you've done everything. You completed all the missions, you farmed for the best gear, you got your Mach 5 jacket on, your blindfold, your Proton boots, but now what? Well, this is where the future gets a little bit more interesting. Back when the game first came out, the future was meant to be a bit of a preview, a sneak peek, if you will, of the game's full map. However, to get to the rest of the game, you would need to buy a pass to get to the past. If you didn't buy that, you were stuck in the future for a few years until the game went free to play. However, they didn't leave us future players hanging though. We got Dawn Doom and Bad Max, special fusion bosses created by Lord Fuse himself to thwart the heroes and just kind of walk around a little bit. These two big brutes had two glaring issues. The first being that they would respawn an hour from the moment they were killed, which is just a big time sink. The second issue are the drops. They drop amazing gear, the best you can get in the Future Zone. Plus, they are guaranteed to drop a crate. Sounds great, right? But what if I told you that only one person gets crates, and it is the one who gets the first hit on them? That issue could easily be fixed by using the group function. In that case, everybody in the group of the person who hits him the first time will get a crate, but the group function just so happens to not have been available during this beta. I would like to reinforce, I'm not putting the retro devs at fault for this at all. However, it is an issue that I feel should get addressed because it was a big issue back in 2008, 2009, when the future was still a thing basically. And I've seen people waiting for them to spawn for hours on end without getting a single crate. If possible, I would propose that whoever helps take them down will get a crate regardless if they were the one to aggro it. There has to be like some way to, monitor the damage that's been done to him and by who. These bosses, Dawn Doom and Bad Max, they spawn at Pokeoaks, North and Peach Creek Estates, respectively. My next complaint might be seen as a small one, but I do feel very strongly about it. The retro devs giving random past accessory items to random players is something that I personally do not condone. They have stated that they would want nothing more for us than to keep the progress we made during this beta and to bring that into the full game. This would include mission progress, items, names, and whatever else it might include. And that is the plan, but were something to go wrong, it's all gone. To their credit, they did state that we should see our characters as wiped when the beta is done, but for now only time may tell. However, for this argument's sake, let's say that in the full game, we do get to keep all our stuff and progress from the beta. Then the people who got items from the devs would get to keep those items. I feel that that's very unfair to people who didn't get those items, and are desperately wondering how people did get those items. And the whole shtick with it being a secret is kind of not helping at all. Giving out items like this could easily be interpreted as favoritism, even if it is done completely random. As devs, I feel it should be important to be impartial. If you're gonna give out items to everybody. Make a Twitter announcement, make a Facebook announcement, make a forum announcement saying everybody online between 10 and 11 AM is gonna get a random item. You're still giving out items this way, but you're doing it in a more fair way to everybody, and you're giving everybody the chance to get one. And doing it like this can not as easily be interpreted as playing favorites. This video has gone on long enough, doesn't include swearing, so eat your heart out, CMs. I really suck at outros. After I finished editing this video, I came to the realization that I completely forgot to mention my most hated part about the beta. The release. Not the fact that they released it, not at all, I couldn't be happier. It's how they did it. They did a silent release, releasing it without telling anybody until 2.5 hours after the fact. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with this method. Like, at all. Except, in this case, there's a lot wrong with it. For the better part of a year, the whole community has cried communication. And the devs have responded with, yeah, we know we want the same thing and we're working on it. You know what is a bad idea? Doing a silent release, like you did, while saying you want to have better communication. Whoever thought this up, I'm sorry, but that was not a good move. As a marketing student, the way they did this angers me to my very core, because there were so many ways they could have announced the release. The way I would have done it is I would have written up a transcript of an audio log by Dexter. This could go like one of two ways. First way, you have the transcript that mentions, time travel experiment, ETA, 1 hour, and then have it released an hour after that is posted. Or two, you still have the transcript, but it just mentions like how preparations for the time experiment have been going great, should be ready to go very soon. This method would still put people on edge, give them a bit of a heads up that something is coming, but still have it be vague enough so they don't know when, maybe even what it is. That's all I wanted to say. Now this really is the end of the video, and I'll see you guys later.